Let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about what it takes to lift your hand, smile, or simply take a step? Now, imagine waking up one day and realizing that these moments, actions you never think about, have become slow, shaky, or stiff. For millions of people worldwide, this is their reality. Hello everyone, welcome to Neuromonk, your go-to source for health insights that matter. I'm Dr. Apaji Rai, a board-certified neurologist, and today we'll be discussing about Parkinson's disease, a condition that's as fascinating as it's challenging. By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand what Parkinson's is, but you'll also have tools to support someone living with it, or even spark hope and inspiration if you are facing it yourself. Let's get started. So, what exactly is Parkinson's and why does it happen? Parkinson's is a progressive neurological disorder, which means it gets worse over time. It primarily affects the brain's ability to control movements, specifically the fine coordination of movements. The root of the issue lies in a part of the brain called the substantia nigra. This is specifically present in the midbrain and produces a chemical called dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that acts here as the brain's movement messenger. In Parkinson's, the cells that produce dopamine gradually die. Without enough dopamine, movement becomes slow, stiff, and uncoordinated. But Parkinson's isn't just about movement, it's more than that. It has non motor symptoms like depression, anxiety, and sleep disturbances. And people also face cognitive challenges like trouble with decision making or even memory are encountered. That's why I often say Parkinson's is a whole body disease rather than just movements. Now let's talk about the symptoms. Here are the four hallmark motor symptoms. Tremor. The characteristic shaking often starts in one hand and it's usually present at rest. Bradykinesia, a fancy term for slowness of movements. Rigidity, stiffness in the muscles like trying to move through wet cement. Postural instability, problems with balance and frequent falls. Most people associate Parkinson's with tremors, but it's much more than that. It's a condition that impacts the entire person, their mind and emotions, and also their relationships. And here's something surprising. The non motor symptoms often appear years before the motor ones. Imagine losing your sense of smell, feeling constantly fatigued, or struggling with constipation long before tremors ever show up. These symptoms are part of the puzzle we're still trying to solve. Now, Parkinson's doesn't just affect the person diagnosed, it touches their entire family. Imagine an artist whose hand start to tremble, or a teacher whose voice has grown softer and harder to project. Emotionally, Parkinson's can feel like a roller coaster. Many patients experience depression, not just because of the diagnosis, but as a result of chemical changes in the brain. They also face anxiety, especially about the future, and frustration from unpredictability of the symptoms. But here's where I've seen something remarkable: resilience. I've met patients who've gone to write books, start advocacy groups, and inspire others, all while living with Parkinson's. It's proof that the diagnosis is part of the story, not the whole story. And here's a question I get from patients all the time: why did this happen to me? The honest answer is we don't know exactly. But what we do know is it's likely a combination of genes and environmental factors. About 10 to 15% of cases are linked to genetics. Environmental triggers like exposure to pesticides or heavy metals may also play a role. Age is the biggest risk factor. Most people are diagnosed after 60. But here's the thing: young onset Parkinson's affects people under 50, and even celebrities like Michael J. Fox have helped bring awareness to this. The next big question is, can Parkinson's be cured? Not yet, but it can definitely be treated. Here's how. Medications. The cornerstone is a drug called levodopa, which replaces the lost dopamine. Another medication called carbidopa is used along with it. This helps the availability of levodopa in the brain by inhibiting the peripheral conversion of this drug. Other drugs and medications help manage specific symptoms like tremors or rigidity. Surgery is the next. Deep brain stimulation is a game changer for some patients who are selectively picked to get this procedure. This reduces symptoms significantly. Lifestyle changes like exercise is a superpower for Parkinson's. Activities like yoga, cycling, and Tai Chi can slow symptom progression. A balanced diet rich in antioxidants also supports brain health and even in general. Support systems, support groups, and counseling can make world of a difference for these patients. Now, for inspiration, let me share a story. I once met a man who was diagnosed with Parkinson's in his 40s. He told me he felt like his life was over, but over time he found strength that he didn't know he had. He started running marathons, yes, with Parkinson's, and even raised funds for research. He told me Parkinson's changed my body, but didn't change my spirit. This is the kind of resilience that inspires me every day. If you have a similar story or experience, please share it in the comments below. I would love to know more about it. And here's what I want you to remember. Parkinson's is definitely challenging, but it doesn't define a person. Hope is stronger than disease. If you or someone you love is living with Parkinson's, know that you're not alone. There's a global community, countless resources, and ongoing research that's bringing us closer to better treatments and one day a cure. If you like to watch videos about other neurological conditions, check out my video on stroke here and epilepsy here. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Neuromonk. If you found this episode meaningful, share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to leave a comment or a question. I love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, remember, the brain is powerful, but so are you. Take care.